Hey, garden folks. Okay, the summer is slowly coming to an end, but in the meantime, between time, we're still here. You can see all this. This is the Borlorgie, right? Like I say, I'm going to harvest it tomorrow. Tomorrow being the 17th of August. But this is scallion. This one happens to be sitting already. This is the African basil. And these are flowers or roses that are actually, germinate, not germinate. I actually take them from the stem and grow them that way. So it's this one. This is thyme. Obviously, with all these plants, you're going to get parasites trying to grow amongst them as well. And another thing I noticed with thyme, it has to be elevated somewhat for it to grow properly. Right? You could see all these are we just trying to go in with the time. So a lot of times where you just mind how you do it. And if you don't know, and that's why you can't send somebody to come and pick, things from your garden, because more especially if they don't know, I'm almost certain some people will pick this. They say, oh, it's thyme, but it's not thyme. It's always just weed in within the thyme. Okay, that's another scallion over there. Okay, so I do roses. This is the citronella, which is the mosquito plant. Does it help? I think it does actually, if you have a lot of them around. And what I'll do, when it comes to autumn, they gotta come in. I just bring one plant and just try to maintain that plant. Then come maybe April, May, you start cutting the stems and sticking them in water so they can root and be another plant. So this plant actually is one plant you see here from last year. And I have several of them. This is the basil, the common basil. Roses, like I say, I do propagate them because they're nice to have as well. And also the smell sometimes drives the mosquitoes away. All right, so this year actually expanded quite a bit because I believe I have could be about 50 buckets as well. Last year I was growing watermelon. Somehow they started to grow and then they just died. So this year I say, you know what, I'm gonna do a lot of buckets. Let me see if they're gonna survive. And the only surviving one that I saw, the only one I saw that came out so far is this one. And then it split. And that was it. There was a split in it. My favorite plant, Borlorgie. Okay, this is very, very healthy. It's full of a lot of nutrients, a lot of iron. And you could cook it by itself or you could mix it with bitter leaves. And I'll show you guys the bitter leaves over there. Okay. And one thing you always got to have in your garden, you're going to have one of these humane traps, just in case some animal decide to come through. And with a bit of brevity as well, I decided to grow corn, because usually the squirrels will have them, right? And so I decided to grow corn, and this is your bitter leaf right here. They grow very tall, and I kind of forgot that that's what I had to do, because you have to break them and stick them in the soil. See, around that will be July, August, because they start about May, June. By the end of July, you could pick them. Actually, it's a lot of leaves. But then what you do, because if you leave them, they're going to go very, very tall. So what you have to do, really, you have to break them, cut them, and stick them in the ground, as you can see, right? But I kind of, because of all the garden I have, and things, you don't remember everything, but you could see the bitter leaves. This is what a bitter leaf looks like, right? All natural. Okay, you can't eat the leaves like that. You always got to wash it. They say, you rub it, they call it. By rubbing it, you're gonna remove the bitterness to your taste. And this is all garden beans. You can see the beans over there, and that's the thing, when they start growing, they're all over the place. You can't even keep up with them. This is Salone Green. All right, that's okra there. I have a lot of okra going. Peppers, a lot of peppers, a lot. This is this one here is you've seen is ghost pepper. All right, that's ghost pepper over there. You have cassava leaves. Of course, you have okras. I have a lot of okras. You have Sawa Sawa, sorrel. I've been hearing some people advertising them as hibiscus, but I've never come across that name for them before. I know they're sorrel, that's what they're called. And we call them Sawa Sawa. You can see an okra over there, and okra over there. There's okra, a lot of okra plants all over the place as well. I have this is like 29 plants. Then you got your Sawa Sawa, then you got your pepper. You can see these red bell peppers. I know they are because I planted them. You know, Sawa Sawa, you got your corn over there as well, and then peppers. So that you got a sweet pepper, you got bell peppers, you got Trinidadian scorpion, you got ghost pepper, and you have Carolina Reaper. All this pepper bed that you see, and that's what they are. And of course, you still have the bell peppers, you can see. I mean, I'm trying to get away from regular fertilization. That's another Borlorgie there. You can see the leaves of the pepper and the way they are. And funny enough, just for the records, I think these peppers, they actually start bearing a lot of flowers around August, actually. You know, they take 3 months to make, because even this plant, see how big it is, right? But hey, I'm not a plant guy. I just plant them. That's Kanai, which is part of the things I sell. I would sell usually the plants, and they really, can fly out. That's what's Isella that I got from the plant itself, and just do the stem in water. After a while, you put them in the soil, and that's evidence of that. Then I'm still having my little, thing going on over here. And these are usually like basil, African basil, basil. You see like the azalea over there, that's what I'll do. I'm not too serious about this one anyway. But again, you see roses, I'll be doing roses because I end up with a lot of roses. And I'm not going to forget this side of this is my office actually, somewhat, my office area. So I'm doing some Salone Green over here. But all these containers, they're not garbage containers, they're actual soil. You make your soil, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I'm showing the people, they're seeing all these things, but it's like I'm doing a lot of vegetable scraps. It's all soil, soil that you take out of, the vegetables that you have, that you cook. Nothing meat, no fish. This is liquid fertilizer. I always like to mess around with this one actually. And I got some other cuttings I'm going to put there, because usually what do you call it now? You use the grass that you can't get from the grass, the lawn. You put them in there. The weed and everything, you put them in there. Okay, this is Sawa Sawa. No, sorry, this is Krain Krain. They also due for harvest. Okay, I was getting some yellow leaves, and I'm also experimenting why do they have yellow leaves. This usually happens once you harvest them. And the way I'll harvest them, really, I just pick the leaves so they can propagate. But I've also introduced, because even like this pot used to have a lot of yellow leaves like these, I introduced some potassium, which you get from the banana peel. You soak it in water, right? And I find it's kind of helping them. Or maybe I'm also thinking they're not getting enough water. That's why they're doing that. They can't get to the nutrient. If you ever try to grow oak tree, you have to be very patient. I've had this from the beginning of summer, and really they look like they're actually doing something. So who knows? This is potato leaves as well. I always like to plant half things all over the place. And then you have, these are the garden beans. On this side, I don't see a lot of action. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't see a lot of action like the action I'm seeing over on the ones on the far end. So again, I don't know, maybe it's the position, because again in gardening, oh no, tell a lie. See action over here? Look, garden beans. But again, with gardening, that's what I noticed, is the position you put them, that's how they're gonna grow. Also, I noticed something. When you plant in these containers, because it has holes underneath, if you plant them towards the soil or on the soil, it's like they're gonna do better. Okay, and that's the reason why they're on this compost heap. So in case you're wondering what's going on over here as well, on all these bags, you can see my cuttings there, grass, all this grass, they all manure. They make manure. They make very good manure. This is the horse manure. You leave them all to actually, like next year, you put them in the soil, you're going to have very good plants. All these peppers are sweet peppers, but somehow they grew so tall. They grew so tall, and you can't really get them to go. So I don't see any action in them, but hopefully they're going to come through. Okay, that's basil over there. This pepper was a pepper that was actually grew from just a little stem, because the slugs had eaten it. So it was just a stem, but then I nursed it, and look at it right now. All right, this African basil over there. Okay, this pepper is ghost pepper. We all know this is ghost, I believe. That should be ghost pepper. No, that's not ghost pepper. Ghost pepper's got the thing in it, but still, it's one of those hot burning peppers. You can see them. They like took their time to go, but guess what? Once they started, and that's the rest is history. You can see, And over here, these are habaneros, and they're doing fine as well. They're beginning to ripe, the habanero peppers, and you got to look for them in between usually for you to see them. But again, when they started, they were like, oh, I don't want to go. Now, the funny thing with cucumbers, these are cucumbers that started about a month ago, as compared to the ones over there that they've actually, done very well. I've had over maybe a couple of dozens of cucumbers actually. From the one on the far end over there, I'll get to that. Okay, this is another patch that I have that has Sawa Sawa and Krain Krain. Right, you got more peppers over there. You got corn over there. More Krain Krain. As you can see, I got my eggplants over here. I leave them to go bigger actually. Usually that's what I do. I mean, I've harvested some of them already. Right, we've harvested a few of them actually. But you can see there's eggplant over there. I believe I saw another one over here. Yeah, you see that? This is basil, irregular basil. This is Sawa Sawa over here. All right. And as you can see, the garden. And I mean, this video is going to be a little bit longer because again, I want to show the garden what it looks like on the 16th of August 2024. There's corn. Again, they're coming up. There's pepper, and all these peppers, like I say, these are all wickedly hot pepper. I think this is like the Trinidadian scorpion as well, as you can see there. And these are basil. These ones is like, I believe these are Thai basil. Right, and it's pepper. Another one of my traps. Not looking to catch any of those things because I have this guy over here that is emitting sound and light. So really and truly, I don't see squirrels or anything in the garden, which is good, in the backyard. Okay, that's more peppers. Like you see, I have a lot of this type of peppers, the hot burning pepper. Yeah, this is a ghost pepper. That's what a ghost pepper looks like. That much I know because it has the peak or the beak. And this, I believe, is a habanero. Okay, I'm also growing okra in a pot as an experiment. Right, they attract a lot of ants, but I believe the ants is the one that pollinate them. Pepper, of course, tomatoes. I have so many tomatoes. Okay, this is lemon basil. That much I know. Oh my God, it smells so good. You wouldn't believe how it smells. It smells so good. But to harvest, that's the key. To harvest them. That's pepper. You see, this is a red bell pepper. I know that's a bell pepper there. And these are Thai basil, which they say is patmenji, African patmenji. Okay, that's these ones. They all have different smell, And it's more peppers, more pepper, more peppers. I remember when I was growing these ones, more especially in these buckets, they used to be so small, like they never wanted to go. But look at them now. And that's the thing. These are definitely Trinidadian scorpion. Yep. See that? See a bunch of them? There's a lot of them. And just for the record, next year, like I say, God willing, it's going to be peppers. It's going to be a lot of peppers and bitter leaves. This is another eggplant. I did harvest out of this one. Then I have all these tomatoes. Okay, you see this scrap? This is what I was telling you about. All this scrap is what I'm going to go put in that liquid fertilizer. Okay, so you see, nothing goes to waste in the garden, really. Lemongrass. I've been dreaming of harvesting these. Who knows? I might just do it tonight. Lemongrass, they get nice tea, medicinal. I think I'm going to do it anyway. What you do is you tie the bottom and you cut it. Tie the bottom and you cut it. So now you don't have this bunch, this bushel. Okay, this is how cucumbers go after about 2 months, 3 months. But this cucumber actually did very, very, very well. I mean, I was having cucumbers as big as you don't know what. You know, just check this one in. You know, check this one out. If I were to leave that one till tomorrow, next tomorrow, it's going to be at least 0.5 the size of that. So I had a lot of cucumbers here, a lot. And the thing with cucumbers, like you see this one over there, it's overripe. I saw it for the longest time, I never picked it. It can last like this, in this stage, till next year and the after. It'll never split open except you split it open. So that's a cucumber there. And that looks like a different species, but that's the first one I saw. But I had so many cucumbers in here, so many. I mean, I gave the neighbors in the front, the side, and the side cucumbers. And I gave, like, when people come to buy stuff from me, like kalalu and stuff like that, I'll give them cucumbers as well. Okay? And this one over here is a favorite Kenya pepper. And really, this one is from Sierra Leone. And when we make barbecue, like to season the chicken and things like this is one of the best peppers to put in it, to mix. I mean, you mix it as a powder. It's very easy to dry, so you just dry them out and just mix them as powder with other seasons and season your meat, your chicken, your ribs. Comes out really nice. And this is Scotch bonnet pepper. See, they look like bonnets, right? I got these ones actually. This pepper is 3 years old. This was inside. I took it inside. Same with this one. I had it inside as well, right? And you know, they'll propagate, and I'm still going to take them inside or take new ones inside. Okay, but again, more of this hot pepper. Seriously hot pepper. You see that one over there? See? And yes, I've been picking them up as well. They've been ripening up. You see that? See? So I mean, and then you have kalaloo, which is going now anyway as well. I mean, you can still eat. There's a lot of you can eat out of them anyway. And I try not to put chemical. The thing you do in this one, you got to use vinegar, garlic, and hot pepper and spray it. I've never done it, but I believe it could work because the reason why it'll work, the bees don't like the smell of the garlic, and the pepper is going to like burn them out, so they can't really taste it anymore. And then the vinegar also have that, what you call it now, preservation. Okay, and then the potato leaves, you can see how they go. And like I say, one of the things I don't do, and I'm going to try to make a 20 minutes video actually, and you can see I'm the Borlorgie man. I have a lot of Borlorgie plants, nice ones, because that's a plant I like, right? But basically what you do, if you have space, and you don't necessarily even have to have space, go to the farm that they have a horse or a cow. The manuals are usually free. The only thing is you might need a trailer or some bags to put the manure in to bring them home. If you're gonna go garden, invest in buckets. That's why you see I have all the buckets, right? The buckets are actually not buckets, drums or whatever, garbage containers if you can find them old, because that's where you're gonna be making your soil. When you make your soil and you introduce it to the garden, you get very, very luscious plants. You could see, look at the leaves of the Krain Krain. Look at that. And this is no chemical, no nothing. When they talk about organic, this is what we're talking about, organic. And the organic comes from the fact that I make my soil. I go to these farms where they have horses or cow. When the summer started, this was a whole pile of soil, right? And like you see, I have them in bags, because the reason why I put them in bags, it's like they're going to decompose even better, because when you get them, they have the cow poo and the grass and everything, so they need to decompose to make the soil. So you make your soil. Over here is the same thing I'm doing. I'm making my soil. How am I making the soil? All the vegetable scrap I have, I put a layer of them, and then I introduce the soil. Come next year, they're all going to be part of the soil, and they're going to be enriching the soil very much. It's good when you have a soil. The soil is what you need when you grow things, because they're going to grow very nice. Anything you grow, look at the size of the pepper, right? And that's going to be the size of the pepper that's coming out, because, you know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Look at this. Same thing. You don't put no fertilizer. Just use the natural mystic. Look at that. Look at those peppers. Look how fresh they look. All because you do in your soil. You do your soil concentration. You make the soil. You do your soil. And I mean, okay, yes, I have a big garden, as you can see. And in the span of it, I'm growing quite a bit, you know. But again, you don't have to be as big as this. As little as you have, you can do. And you can do it, and really and truly, you can get a lot of yield. right? Like I say, all these things, they compete in the same. Look at the size of the leaves of these ones, right? And the size of the leaves will also determine the size of the plant, the fruit, you know, and that's what it is. You see, you could see. I mean, you leave them a couple of days, like even these eggplants, I mean, they grow very big. You just need to cook 2 of them. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yep. And I do have soil, because with everything you got to have soil. You know, I do have soil that I'll mix, as you can see over there. I'll mix them with what I'm making as well to enhance the soil. But when you do that, you get a beautiful soil. Very beautiful soil. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to say it's educational or whatever, but it was informative. So that way, at least, you know, you can grow your garden. And when you grow your garden, like I said, like with a guy like me, I sell some of what I grow. And if I don't sell them, we'll still keep them, because whatever is in this garden that is edible, we eat in this house, right? So nothing goes to waste. The only work is to be able to harvest them. That is where the job is, to harvest them, to harness them, and then they can keep them in vacuum sealed bags that can last, you know, years, because the bag is sealed. You know, like you see okra, for example. I'm getting a lot of okra. I have okra on this side. I have them on that side over there. I have the beans on that side. Your cassava leaves, you can harvest these like maybe 4 times before it gets cold. And again, with these leaves, unfortunately, nothing you see here gonna stay here. All of them gonna die once the first frost gets into the land. All of them gonna die. So you have to start all over again next year, but it's the process. Now look at the leaves of this okra, and some people, they eat the leaves. Yeah, look at the okra leaf. You know what I mean? And all it is the soil. And because what I did also was the leaves, as you can see, we have a lot of trees. So the trees gonna shed in the autumn. I have the machine, I mulch them, and I throw them in the ground, in the soil. And all that is part of the fertilization that you've seen. So you don't have to use chemicals. You don't have to use chemical fertilization. You can actually get your own. Look at the size of this Sawa Sawa, you know. And the only reason why you have this size, guess what? Because it's sitting in a pot that has fertilizer in it. It has cow manure in it. And that's the only reason. That's it. All right. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. And by the way, this cassavas came from St. Martin's, actually. If you had been following me from the beginning of this year, you'll see the way I actually propagate them until the time I'm planting them. And again, you'll see when I take them down, the way I'll try to preserve them, you know, so I can get them back next year, because they definitely not going to survive out here in the winter. Temperature goes below 32 degrees, which is freezing. It goes well below that, so they all freeze. So in the first frost, all this luscious garden you've seen, all is gonna go, except the perennials. And the perennials is like roses, the scallion, you know, some, like you see, some flowers. This is a perennial as well. It doesn't really die. They just stop to grow, and then they will come back next year. Okay, remember I showed you guys that citronella. So these are the ones that didn't make it too much. They didn't come out that well, you know. But excuse me, you can also see them over here too, right? And that was just the one plant. They're giving me all this citronella. All right. Again, hope you enjoy the video. And this was the main purpose of this watermelon that I said they could run, because that's how the other one was growing. They could run along and just drop watermelon as they go. But I ain't seeing that happening, so it's okay. But next year, definitely, I'm not going to do this amount. All these buckets, very likely going to be, if they don't be Borlorgie, they're going to be peppers. And when I mean peppers, I'm talking about Carolina Reaper, Trinidadian Scorpion, Ghost Pepper, and habaneros. Okay, because those peppers are really in demand. All right. Okay, I hope, like I say, you enjoy the video. Remember, you can always check me out at www.backyardgardens.com, and that's backyard is spelled BACKAYARDGARDEN.com.